I'm going to make a strong statement, and if you take care of hospitalized patients, this should make you uncomfortable. Most cases of acute pancreatitis don't become severe because of the disease itself. They become severe because of what we do or don't do in the first 24 to 48 hours. And if you've admitted enough pancreatitis patients, you've seen this happen. The one kept in PO for days when they should have been eating, the one placed on antibiotics just in case. Pancreatitis management has evolved. Our bedside habits have not always caught up. Today, I want to walk you through 6 common management mistakes I still see and how to think about avoiding them. Mistake number 1, and this is the most important one early on: inadequate or excessive early fluid resuscitation. Acute pancreatitis, as you know, causes early third spacing and intravascular depletion, often before hypotension or dramatic exam findings appear. Under-resuscitate early and you worsen pancreatic ischemia and organ failure. But here's the part we are finally getting better at recognizing. Over-resuscitation is just as dangerous as under-resuscitation. Pulmonary edema, abdominal compartment syndrome, respiratory failure. The old reflex is aggressive fluids for everyone has been replaced by something harder but safer. Early goal-directed, frequently reassessed resuscitation. What does that look like in practice? Use isotonic crystalloid lactated ringer if you can. It's preferred over normal saline. Bolus only if the patient is actually hypovolemic, then moderate maintenance, not autopilot rates. And here is the key: reassess every few hours in the first day, urine output, examine them again, BUN and creatinine trends, assess oxygenation. The biggest danger is not too little fluid, it's failure to reassess here. If you'd like to receive a written summary of this video, kindly subscribe to my Substack page and newsletter. The link is provided in the description field. Mistake number 2, keeping patients in PO for days. This is old teaching and it persists. Waiting for pain to fully resolve, waiting for lipase to normalize, waiting for some arbitrary milestones to be achieved. The evidence is clear here. Early feeding within 24 to 48 hours is safe and beneficial. It reduces infections, shortens length of stay, lowers complications. You do not need complete pain resolution. If they can eat, feed them. If they cannot, use enteral nutrition. Prolonged fasting does not rest the pancreas. It just starves the patient. Mistake number 3, reflex antibiotics and other unnecessary escalations. Nearly half of pancreatitis patients receive antibiotics even though most pancreatitis is sterile inflammation. Prophylactic antibiotics do not prevent infected necrosis. They do not improve outcomes. Antibiotics are not indicated for mild or moderate or severe pancreatitis without a proper indication. We'll come to it soon. Not indicated for just interstitial disease in the pancreas or sterile necrosis. Remember, necrosis by itself is not an indication for antibiotics. They are rather indicated for infected necrosis, cholangitis, and a clear extrapancreatic infection. Please treat infections, not inflammation. Same idea with hypertriglyceridemia related pancreatitis. Do not reflexively jump to plasmapheresis. The evidence for outcome benefits is limited. Most patients respond to standard supportive care like other pancreatitis cases. Insulin infusions can be considered selectively, not universally. Treat the patient, not the lab value. Also, I want to add here, do not trend lipase on daily basis. Lipase itself, the trending lipase does not equate improvement or worsening of pancreatitis. Trend their symptoms instead. Trend their abdominal pain. The improvement of pain means improvement of pancreatitis. Worsening of pain means worsening of pancreatitis. Let's move to mistake number 4. Under-treating pain. Pancreatitis is one of the most painful conditions we manage. It's a painful condition. The pain is legit. And there is still this myth floating around that opioids, especially morphine, worsen pancreatitis because of the sphincter of Oddi spasm. That concern has been debunked multiple times. Opioids, when used appropriately, do not worsen outcomes. Adequate analgesia is not a luxury, it's supportive care. Pain control allows patients to breathe deeply, mobilize early, sleep better, and eat early. Use multimodal analgesia, reassess frequently, and don't let outdated myths dictate care. Let's move to mistake number 5, mistimed ERCP. ERCP is for some reason overused and underused. It's indicated urgently for acute cholangitis, of course, when there's obstruction, right? Gallstone pancreatitis with ongoing obstruction is also indication for ERCP. But otherwise, it's not routinely indicated. So if labs and imaging are normal or normalizing, ERCP is not helping. What the patient needs is a cholecystectomy in case of gallstone pancreatitis, ideally during the same admission. So image first, stratify risk, then decide. How about mistake number 6, discharging patients without fixing the cause? Pancreatitis will recur if you don't address why it happened. Is it gallstone pancreatitis? Then cholecystectomy. Alcohol? Have the conversation and offer help. Hypertriglyceridemia, start lipid lowering therapy, counsel them about a low-fat diet, arrange follow-ups. Idiopathic or recurrent disease, don't ignore it. Consider MRCP or endoscopic ultrasound. Most recurrences are not mysterious. They are predictable and preventable. In the end, acute pancreatitis does not fail because it's unmanageable. It fails because of poor early resuscitation or excessive resuscitation, so mismanaging resuscitation, prolonged fasting, unnecessarily prolonged fasting, unnecessarily giving antibiotics, under-treating pain, poorly timed procedures, and failure to address the cause. None of these require advanced subspecialties knowledge. They require applying evidence we already have. So resuscitate early, feed early, treat pain adequately, use antibiotics appropriately, and time ERCP correctly and other procedures correctly, fix the cause. That's how we keep pancreatitis from becoming severe. In the end, if you find this video useful, please give it a like, share it with your colleagues, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Also, if you would like to receive a written summary of this video, kindly subscribe to my Substack page and newsletter. The link is provided below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.